Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be about my Dark Elves that I can use actually for Age of Sigmar, turns out. So I hadn't really given it too much thought, but I think my collection is quite suitable to play as a Daughters of Khaine army, or at least this part of the collection. So as you can see, I have quite some Witch Elves that are very eager to get into the battle. But I'll just walk through the different choices that I have in terms of old Dark Elf miniatures that I think are actually quite fit for Age of Sigmar. So first off, we obviously have all the Witch Elves. I'll just give you a bit of a close-up of some of them. Hola. So ideally um, the webcam will autofocus on all of this stuff. So as you can see, I have my lovely little Medusa character here. Everything is on square bases, I know, and I will get base adapters to convert them to round bases. I think it should be fine. There is base adapters on the market to go from square to round, and I think most of the base sizes are still quite compatible with Age of Sigmar. Like the 20mm square base, you get some edges sticking out, but that should be doable. So here we have the Medusa, and we have the Slaughter Queen here on the right of the Medusa. Um, yeah, lovely miniature. Came with the Cauldron kit, and I painted her up like this. Now we have the Witch Elves in the back. So here we go. This will be my first unit of Witch Elves. Um, yeah, I picked up a lot of Witch Elves at the end of Warhammer Fantasy 7th edition, I think. Was a guy that was selling like 50 in a bag, and I already had 10 of them, so I end up having about 70 in total, which I think is quite enough for Daughters of Khaine. So that is tremendous. So that is the first unit. Then we have another unit here in the middle. Oh, let's see that I properly zoom. And then after this unit, we still have the third unit here on the right. I also put in another unit, as you can see, in front of this unit. So in front of this unit is the Dogs of War, Mengil, Menhides, Manflayers unit. I am planning to, if I start with Daughters of Khaine with this army, to use them as the teleporting dudes. So the Shadow Stalkers, the Khainite Shadow Stalkers. I thought that while they do have a crossbow option, so they do have some kind of shooting weapon on them, they do have a very standoutish champion with the tongue stuck out, and I think they are a very nice shadowy part of the line. So I think they blend in quite well with the rest, and they do stand out from the rest sufficiently to be used. Now here in the back, you can see some cavalry. So the cavalry in the back. It is going to be Doomfire Warlocks. I have always played them as Doomfire Warlocks. So I would expect them to be suitable. Also, it's the only cavalry in the army, so they cannot be confused with anything else. Originally, they are Dark Rider models. So for those of you who still remember Dark Riders back in 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy, these are the models to go for. So I still love the like this sculpt especially. I can't really see it. Just try to focus a bit better on it. 1 second. So I do love the sculpt on this one. Camera is having a little bit of issues, but just the face sculpt on this model is really good. With the hood encapsulating the hair of the elf. It's really an angry elf underneath a bit of a darker hood. So it's a very nice detail within the model. Then besides that, we obviously need some cauldrons, or at least one cauldron. I have a cauldron of blood that I painted up, also for Warhammer Fantasy. I put on one of the models. It turns out to be the Death Hag, I guess, Hag Queen, instead of the Slaughter Queen. I don't know which version I would prefer in Age of Sigmar, the Slaughter Queen one or the Hag Queen one. But I think I'll just start with this one and then see what I like better. I also did manage to get one extra statue for an event sometime, for an old world event or a Warhammer fantasy event. So that means practically that I do have an altar of Khaine, or what is it, avatar of Khaine. So he's ready to rock and roll. If I would want to include him in the list, I could. Don't know about the base size of that guy, however, but I think we'll be fine. And then to round it off, I did pick up at some point these models as harpies. Yeah, they're actually in the book. So yeah, I'm really delighted. It's the only one thing I think of the current range, except for the cauldron, obviously, that I have. So I do have some bits and pieces that are within the current Daughters of Khaine range, but I don't have everything. I think the only thing to really run a bit of a semi-competitive list here is that I would need some blood sisters. So the Bloodstalkers, the guys with the combat weapons, I think they would fit in nicely. They can go into the regiment with the Snake Lady, and then I can give some strike last apparently to some other guys in combat, which I think will benefit the Witch Elves quite well. So I do still have another 10 or so Witch Elves lying around, but this will mostly be the list that I would be running. And here we have the Cities of Sigmar Dark Elves. So that's a lot to unpack. This is maybe not the best shot to give an overview, so I'll just move it around a bit. We have a lot of stuff here. Mostly just infantry, cavalry, everything really. So here in the front we have some of the dark shots. I don't know if any of you played Warhammer Total War, but I really like the cry when they really go like dark shots, really motivated. I have 3 units of 20 of those. I'm using Shades models as champions in these units because otherwise I only have 56 of them. Only have 56. I have the heroes in front, by the way. So we have some lovely Corsair champions that I can use as Black Ark Fleet Masters, I think. And then we have this cool looking assassin dude with a little throwing star in the cloak. It's quite a nifty model. And then obviously we have Morathi. She cannot miss from. Let's see if the focus wants to work. She cannot miss from the collection, obviously. And then I have this model from another company. She's also a pretty sorcerer. So that is the Dark Shots. Then we have the Dread Spears. So I have 3 units of Dread Spears. So 2 reinforced, 1 in the back there. And then all the way in the back we have a couple more. And I first fiddled around with these shield emblems that you get with the Dark Elves, and then I realized that it's way easier to just paint the Dark Moon on them, and just to make it way easier for yourself. We also have a collection of Dark Riders. Let me get in there. So this train of Dark Riders, it's made of Glade Rider models. So this was at the time where Dark Elves, Dark Riders could only be bought in blister packs. You get one Dark Rider per blister pack, and there were 10 euros per model, I think. So then I bought a box of these Wood Elf Glade Riders that had just come out, and I converted these with the bits from the Warrior kit to make my own Dark Riders. What else do we have? All the way on the left side here, whoop, we have the Golden Knights. So these Golden Knights are from the edition where we used to play Battle Cows. So you can see it a bit better from the side, maybe. See if I can get in there. So these Gold One models, they're really chunky models. So they're more like Battle Cows than anything else really. But they are quite nice models to play with, I would say. To paint, it's a little bit of a stretch because, well, it's a lot of color blocking really, and you really have to find the color that suits your cold ones because the paint scheme given by Games Workshop was like a brown green, which really stood out against the purple that they had for the Dark Elves. So that definitely wasn't the best color combination. So the heavy metal team did pull that off quite nicely, but at home, if you had green cold ones and purple riders, that kind of clashed without exception. On the back of them, we have cold one chariots. So I have about 4 of those. It's just these ones up here. I don't know how useful they're going to be in the game, but we'll see about that. And then otherwise, we still have some more stuff to go through. So in the back here we have the executioners. Let's just see if we can get close to them. So yeah, still the 6th edition model, 7th edition models, 6th edition mostly, yeah. So the guy in front, the champion, is my guy that I have as an image for my YouTube channel. Yeah, they're really cool models. I think most of the Dark Elf players think that they are the best models in the Dark Elf range. I don't know if I agree with that, because there's quite some nice beauties in there. I think the Witch Elves also definitely deserve a shout out. And then back to from this unit, I just have to go around the other models here. Back here we have Corsairs. So in the front we have basically the current kit of Corsairs actually. I don't know why that surprises me that I have the current set, but that is the current set of Corsairs, and in the back we have the old set. So that's these models. I don't know if any one of you recognizes these models, but these are the 5th edition Corsairs. 5th edition Corsairs. So it's the first iteration of the Sea Dragon Cloak. And then as the leader I have Malus Darkblade, the man, the legend himself, with his trusty Sea Dragon Cloak as well. So he's the champion for my unit there. What else do we have? We still have our big chunky. Oh, it's really big. It's really chunky. Oh my god. It's so big, I have to get further away. Well, it is the big and chunky dragon. So it is playable with both a wizard on top or a dreadlord. And luckily, I have modeled my model in such a way that it can be either a dreadlord or a wizard, giving me some flexibility there. This is the High Elf Dragon Kit. I would say it's the new High Elf Dragon Kit, but that thing is also by now like 25 years. No, it's about 15 years old. 15 years old, this kit, I think. Yeah, so that is the dragon for this army. And then behind the dragon, we still have the Hydras. So bonus points if you can guess the different editions of Hydras. So can give you a bit of a hint here. So the one on the top left is gonna be the 6th edition Dark Elf Hydra. The one on the right is the 8th edition Dark Elf Hydra, and the one in the backpack is actually a Pathfinder Hydra, and that thing weighs a ton. It's, I don't know, it's definitely more than 300 grams, I think. How much is this? This is about, I would say this one is about 120. This one is like 300 grams. This one is the lightest out of all of them at 60 grams, 70 grams, I think. But yeah, the one in the back is definitely the chunkiest, heaviest Hydra that you will ever see. Yeah, that is going to be my collection to play Cities of Sigmar Elves for Age of Sigmar. As you can see, it's all square based. So I will have to find a solution for that. Probably it's going to be that I will be using base adapters. Currently, I'm still looking a lot into Stormcast, but probably afterwards I will either go for some time with Cities of Sigmar or with the Daughters of Khaine. So it's nice to have some models that you can take out again and use in a game. So with that respect, I am very lucky to have Dark Elves as my army, because I think it's one of the few armies that you can actually still just nearly fully play. There's some choices that are out of the game, but otherwise it is still quite usable. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. I realized I hadn't spoken about Malekith's Special Boys, the Blackguard. So here they are. For me, I have used the old Phoenix Guard. Ooh, la, the old Phoenix Guard models for them. So in purpose or in theme with the Phoenix Guard models, I have painted a lot of flames on the back of their cloaks. So basically, fluff-wise, this is at the start of the Sundering where the High Elves realized that, or at least partially, that the selection process for the Phoenix King is fraud and that they should follow Malekith through the darkness. Um, so yeah, Phoenix Guard models, but then with schemes that go a little bit more towards the Dark Elves. I think this is fluff-wise an iconic unit, and I wouldn't want to miss it in my army. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time.